Hello everyone, today is Monday, January 20th, 2025. I'm just starting my day and I see that someone posted a comment, and I may or may not remove it since it's putting words in my mouth. And this person claimed both what they believe, which is inaccurate, and also they're putting words in my mouth. They're claiming that they believe that the two witnesses will start their 3.5-year ministry at Passover of 2025, which is incorrect. And then they put words in my mouth and asked me whether I still think that the two witnesses will be killed by Passover of 2025. I've never said that. I have videos telling you what I believe the Lord has told me on here. I really don't know how people come up with stuff and put words in my mouth, but let me just be clear. First of all, let me apologize again that my own deliverance process is dragging out longer than expected, and the schedule of assignments that I believe the Lord gave me, I am behind on. I was supposed to redo the timeline video last month, December of 2024, to show you guys where we're at in the timeline, including relating to the two witnesses, etc., but that has not happened, and he is still not permitting me to officially do so, so I apologize for that. But in the description box below, I will put links, whatever links the Lord tells me to, whatever links he permits me to, which may or may not include the video I did about when the end of the ages, the second coming of Christ, the rapture, when the two witnesses started their ministry, when the two witnesses will die, when the tribulation happens, the timeline, etc., etc. Check the description box below for whatever links to videos, to documents I have stored on my Google Drive, etc. The timeline is an ongoing, it's a work in progress. But several months ago, the Lord was giving me a whole bunch of revelations, downloads. So let me just go over this. The two witnesses have been here in their testimony, in their ministry. I believe the Lord told me that the company of the two witnesses, their ministry, their 3.5-year ministry officially began in September of 2022. And that they will be killed right around Purim, Purim, the Jewish/Hebrew holiday, which is right at the beginning of March 2026. I did a video where I actually drew out the years on a piece of paper and showed you how many months it is and all that. And if you take a look, there's other things that line up, and it would just be easier for me to just lay it out, to just show you the timeline, but God's not permitting me to do that right now. At most, he might permit me to put the link to the document in the description box below, but it's not time for me to represent the timeline right now. But there's a lot of things that factor in. When the two witnesses are killed, everybody sends gifts to one another. Well, at Purim, there is a Jewish practice, I forget what it's called, but and they send gifts to each other. It also coincides with the 5 months. They are killed, I believe what God has told me is they are killed right after the 5-month period. This is part of why I've been urging you to take heed to what I'm preaching and prophesying, especially about me facilitating your deliverance now, because 1, it takes time, and 2, I'm not going to be here much longer. I believe the two witnesses, okay, again, at the beginning of 2022, the Lord told me, in January of 2022, the Lord told me that I was a pillar, which I've come to realize he was referring to a passage in Revelation where he's talking to the Church of Philadelphia. which is the woman, which is the bride. And by the way, there's some false doctrine out there saying that the bride of Christ is literally one human woman. That is so ridiculous. Don't even get me started on that. The bride of Christ is the Church of Philadelphia, which includes the two witnesses, but out of her comes the two witnesses. In January of 2022, the Lord also told me that I was part of the two witnesses. Later on in 2022, in August of 2022, I already knew that I was a prophetess. I already knew that I was a teacher. But in that month, within about a week's time frame, within a few days' time frame, the Lord told me that I was also a pastor. Then he told me I was also an evangelist. Then he told me I was also an apostle. And since then, he's revealed to me that the office of apostle includes all 5 offices, because the person needs to operate in all 5 in order to be an apostle, in order to plant churches, in order to train and equip the church, etc. And most of the two witnesses are apostles. And then, since then, the Lord has revealed to me that that very next month, September of 2022, is when the official ministry or testimony of the two witnesses really began. And it was around that time frame that I believe the Lord had me really start intentionally declaring things, decreeing things off camera, especially by like October, November, December. By the end of 2022, there was a whole, like a time frame. I think it was it November? No, it was particularly December of 2022. He had me start declaring and decreeing all kinds of stuff regarding particular people, regarding particular places. He had me start in his name, in Yeshua's name, cursing particular people, cursing particular places. Remember, it says in Revelation 11 that fire comes out of the mouth of the two witnesses. The two witnesses are assayers, as it says in Jeremiah. They're here to test you, and if you don't take heed to what they say, then they're here to witness against you, officially. They are the second and the third witness to the first witness of Yeshua the Christ of Nazareth. In Revelation, one of the names given to Yeshua is the faithful and true witness. He's the first witness. It takes a matter is established by 2 or 3 witnesses. The 2 witnesses are the second and third witness. People, this is why I have been preaching and prophesying with the urgency that I have, is because y'all are asleep. You do not realize how late in the game we are. You do not realize where we are at in the timeline. Everybody thinks that, oh, the 7 years just started last year. Everybody thinks that, oh, you know, we're like, you think that we're not at where we're at yet. You think that the 2 witnesses are just going to start their testimony, their ministry, Passover of 2025? No, that's when the tribulation starts. The 2 witnesses have been here. They've been testing you. They've been witnessing against you. They have been speaking fire to you and about you. And the Lord wants me to particularly boldly tell you right now, for literally years now, He has told me with specific people, He has told me to declare, which means you say something out loud. He has told me to declare in His name, in Yeshua's name, curses upon particular people, upon particular places. He has had me in Yeshua's name damn particular people. He has had me in Yeshua's name witness against particular people. And this coming blood moon, total lunar eclipse, mid-March, I'm not allowed to say what he's going to have me declare, but as part of the two witnesses who has the mantle of the anointing of Elijah and Moses, actually, I have both of them. He's going to have me declare something. He's going to have me decree something that will bring judgment on the church. Judgment comes to the house of the Lord first. Hence, it's going to happen about a month prior to the tribulation. And it may not manifest right away. It takes some time. It can take months sometimes for the delay between something happening in the spirit and it manifesting in the natural. But don't be surprised if things are completely drastically different by summer of 2025. Do not be surprised if all of a sudden people are sick. I'm just going to say that. The wrath of God is about to be poured out, and y'all aren't taking him seriously. You're not taking me as his mouthpiece seriously, as his apostle seriously, as his witness seriously. You need to wake up to what time it is. I am sick and tired of people not taking heed. I have flat out directly communicated to you what the Lord has told me to over and over and over. You think the two witnesses are about to start their ministry in a few months? Wrong. We've been here. We have been here for literally years. Ministering to you, prophesying to you, warning you, admonishing you, exhorting you, and y'all just sit there like la-di-da. You refuse to consecrate yourselves, humble yourselves, pursue your deliverance, do what the Lord tells you to do. You refuse to relocate. You refuse to separate and unyoke yourselves from those he told you to unyoke from. You refuse to get divorced. You refuse to get married. You refuse. Contumacy is the crime of the hour, is what he had me say recently on this channel. Twice recently, he had me come on here and prophesy to you that when the tribulation commences, it will be sudden, it will be abrupt, is what he said twice. Abrupt. In the last year or so, people are waking up, but not enough. So many people think that the last 7 years just started summer of 23. Summer of 23. 2023 is when I saw people starting to wake up a little bit, but they're so wrong. They thought that the last 7 years was only about to begin. Despite how drastically the world changed a few years ago. People are ignoring the signs that are right in front of them. The two witnesses have been in their ministry. They have been testifying against people. And just to be clear, the Lord also has me declare certain, the actual word, the verb that he had me start using was beatify. He has me, when he tells me to, he has me officially declare beatifying particular people, which is a way of affirming them. It's a way of officially endorsing them. It's the opposite of witnessing against them. And one of my assignments that's been on hold for 4 months now is there are endorsements. I've got a ton of rebuke videos I got to do, but I also have some endorsement videos I have to do, which means that the Lord is very well pleased with certain people. It's very, very few. The list is so very small, but think of the two witnesses as the officiants. Okay, they officiate things. That's why you don't want to trifle with them. That's why you want to take heed to the fire coming out of their mouths. But they have been here. They have been here. They are here. No, their ministry is not about to just begin when the tribulation begins, Passover 2025. They've been here. They've been warning you. Hence, just take a look at what's been on this channel for the last 9 months or so, the last year. Could the warnings be any more direct or clear? He had me come on here and tell you flat out that if you're not in right standing with God, come the tribulation, your guardian angels are going to stop preventing your premature death. No one seems to be taking me seriously. No one has any fear of God. No one has any fear of hell, fear of going to the lake of fire. No one seems to have any reverence, any care The two witnesses have already entered the time frame of them being stall-fed calves. Hence, you have watched me on this channel be predominantly homeless for about 3.5 years, and now all of a sudden I've got a home. And I'm not even allowed to share some of the other breakthroughs and blessings I've gotten from pursuing my own deliverance. I'm not allowed to share that on here for particular reasons, but the Lord has been taking care of my needs. That's what he does, especially for his two witnesses. Even when I was homeless for predominantly homeless for about 3.5 years, he took care of me. Even when I ran out of money, he had the hotel that I was staying at put me up for about 3 weeks. The Lord provides, especially for his two witnesses, because they have done what they need to do to consecrate themselves. They have proven themselves trustworthy to him. Hence, they are entrusted with judging. They are the judges. Just recently, someone emailed me and asked me what I thought of a certain person that has a, YouTube ministry channel. And I told them, well, if you're going to ask me flat out, I'm going to answer you flat out as the Lord told me to. And I told that person exactly what God had said about this person. And they write back, oh, don't judge our sister, blah, 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 blah. And the Lord told me to write back and say, I'm a judge. I judge accurately. I judge righteously. I judge people as the Lord tells me to judge them. The two witnesses have been here testing you, prophesying to you, preaching to you, judging you, witnessing against you. And they have, whether it's been on camera or off camera, they have been witnessing against you. And they've also been testifying and beatifying certain people, which is a positive thing. But on the negative side, which happens more often than not, the two witnesses are officially witnessing against so many people. They have been and they are. And they will continue to. Every time you revile them, every time you make some flippant accusation, some false accusation, every time you disobey the orders that they have given you directly from God, every time you reject them, everything you do against the two witnesses, God takes that personal as if you're doing it directly against him. I mean, that goes across the board for all of his priesthood, all of his officers, but especially the two witnesses. No, they are not about to start their ministry Passover of 2025 when the tribulation starts. They've been here trying to prepare you. They've been making a way for the Lord. They've been warning you and telling you this is what you got to do. They have been preemptively weeding people out. And I believe that they will be killed Purim 2026, which is right around the beginning of March, like March 2nd, give or take, somewhere around there. And I believe that happens right at the end of the 5-month period. And if I'm wrong, I will come on here and correct myself. But this is what I believe the Lord has told me. Please don't put words in my mouth. I don't know where people come up with stuff sometimes. They claim that I said this or that people put words in my mouth. Please stop doing that. Or I'll prophesy something, and because you didn't seem to notice when the confirmation happened, when the manifestation happened, then you send me a nasty, reviling email saying that I falsely prophesied. You better watch who you're trifling with. You better watch it. Just because you didn't take notice of something doesn't mean it didn't happen. I don't know how else to say it, church, but you need to wake up and you need to take God seriously and you need to take the two witnesses seriously. I've been telling you what time it is, boldly, directly, for a long time now.